because of a terminal illness that they may have that is causing pain and suffering. Ambir and I today will present logical reasons for why we are pro-euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide, which is also known as PAUSE, and why it should be legalized in the United States, in all states besides Oregon and Washington. So, that's what we're going to do. Our first example today of why we're for it is because if a doctor can use non-voluntary euthanasia, which means they need a consent from a family member to turn off life-preserving machines for an individual who has been determined brain damaged, then why is it not legal for a terminally ill individual to give his or her own consent to end their own life during voluntary euthanasia or physician-assisted suicide to put an end to their pain and suffering?
Okay, there are several definitions for euthanasia. There hasn't been one defined definition yet for it. We found one slightly different. We define euthanasia as the act or practice of intentionally killing or permitting the death of an individual due to a quote-unquote incurable disease. And we'll touch on that fact a little bit later. There's three types of euthanasia. There's voluntary, where someone says, yes, I would like you to end my life. There's non-voluntary, where someone's incapable of making that decision, whether it be an infant, which they do to infants, or somebody who can't talk, they're a vegetable, whatever it may be. And then there's involuntary, where it's against their will, basically. I do understand their point. However, when you're talking about euthanasia, you have to look at the whole picture, not just one individual. You need to look at, if you were to allow a third party to come in and take someone's life, what that opens the door to. And what it opens the door to is corruption, because there's several reasons that, let me start. For example, people normally decide to be euthanized because they're old or disabled. Those are the two most common. If we allow euthanasia, those people are going to be targeted. For example, they're going to be targeted by the family members who are having to care for those people. It's difficult to care for somebody who's disabled and capable of taking care of themselves. Those family members are going to push them. There's several cases in Oregon where family members have persuaded and pushed people who are not in their right frame of mind into being euthanized, and it's very unfortunate that that's happened to them. Same thing with the disabled people, and also monetary reasons. For example, a grandmother could have a will set out for her granddaughter, and her granddaughter knows that, so she's helping to persuade her grandmother basically to kill herself because she wants the money. And it's happened, and there's several cases that it's happened for. So if you open the door for one person, I mean, it's just going to open the possibilities for so much corruption that you can't allow that to happen. Yes, it's unfortunate what's happening to these people, but it's going to be way more unfortunate what happens to the innocent people who get basically talked into taking their own lives for someone else's benefit.
Okay.
Oh, want to tap out or something?
Right. Reaffirming Jennifer's side on the pro-euthanasia, going off of what April said about doctors and the abuse, there's always going to be people who are going to abuse any type of law that you put out there. So you can't prevent all terminally ill patients from being able to make this decision based upon the mere fact that somebody might abuse the law. There's elderly people that are abused every day, usually by their own family, unfortunately. At least with the option of euthanasia, some of these sick and elderly can decide for themselves how much longer they have to endure that amount of pain. There's always going to be people who put their own selfishness before loved ones. There's not something that can be changed with or without the acceptance of euthanasia. As far as doctor abuse, Oregon and in the UK, there's laws that show that you can craft reasonable laws that prevent abuse and still protect the value of human life. One of those examples was they have to require the approval of 2 doctors plus a psychologist before they can make that kind of decision. They can also prescribe certain amount of waiting periods. They have to get the additional sign-off of family members and limit the procedures to certain types of illnesses. States should have the right to pass laws that take into account the values and wishes of people of each individual state. And next topic we would like to address is the fact that it's an individual's self-governed right to choose what he or she wants to do with that person's own life, to put a stop to the pain and suffering that might be caused by terminal illness. It should be considered as much of a crime to make someone live with that as it is to take their life without consent. Sometimes the best treatment doesn't exactly improve the quality of life, so it should be their choice if they want to end it. Maintaining life support against the patient wish is considered unethical by law as well as medical philosophy. If the patient has the right to discontinue treatment, why would he not have the right to shorten his lifetime to escape the anguish? Isn't the pain of waiting for death more traumatic?
Okay. Well, the term incurable disease, what is it exactly? For example, there's been several different cases where we thought they were terminal. We thought they weren't going to be able. They were going to wipe out an entire world population. For example, smallpox actually killed 300 million people back in the 19th century. Lifespan was only 47.3 at a time. Later on, now the life expectancy is 77.85. So we've actually increased. We have smallpox. We've had even tuberculosis. Only 50 years ago was where they found a disease for tuberculosis. Not only that, but it requires, now that we do have a cure for it, it requires attention from doctors and close relations between the patient and the physicians themselves. It takes 6 months. It starts up to 6 months, can go up to 12 months in order to be able to have that much attention between the patient and the doctor in order to be able to get better. People who are in vegetable states all the time also have lots of programs and training to get better, just to be able to slowly, a little process can go a long way, and a lot of people are able to do it. People who have been diagnosed with AIDS, for example. I mean, when you first hear the news, yeah, it's a little bit suspenseful, and people do think like, hey, I don't. Even them, they think like, okay, I don't want to live anymore. But we can't just reinforce that. We want to be able to. We don't want to give that to be the first option. What we would like is to be able to not only equip somebody to help assist somebody with suicide and so suddenly, or as April also said, just opening up to corruption. We do want to give them hope, and we do want them to live it out at least a little bit longer. And not only for the voluntary, but also the non-voluntary and the involuntary. We just wouldn't want to open that as well. We don't want to kill them, and we don't want to assist with suicide.
Okay, as I see your point, there is always a chance whenever they could come up with some sort of cure for a terminally illness, some sort of disease that has passed around, for example, smallpox. And they haven't really found a cure for AIDS yet, but there are methods that you could go through. But who's to say that there is ever going to be a cure? The chances of there actually being a cure is like a person's chances of winning the lottery. The fact that even if they were to come up with a cure, who says that that person's illness isn't going to be so far advanced that it's not going to be able to cure them? And even if it does cure them, who's to say that it's going to cure them the next day? It could take days, and during this time, they could still continue to suffer, and they could still continue to be in pain, and they could still continue to just be miserable and sit there and think, oh, well, I should have just gone ahead with the voluntary euthanasia. This is something that can't really be completely reliable. Just because we all know that, yes, we are trying to look for cures and everything else. Like I said, the chances of actually coming up with a cure for an incurable disease for thousands of people